Picture the biggest, most powerful land predator in North America. 1,500 pounds of muscle, claws as long as your fingers. A creature that can flip a boulder like it's a pebble and run faster than a racehorse over short distances. Now ask yourself something weird. Why aren't you eating it? Think about it. We eat cows, we eat pigs, we eat chickens, turkeys, deer, fish, shrimp, even alligator in some states. We've turned almost every animal on this continent into a meal at some point. But the grizzly bear? The one animal that's practically made of meat? Nope, never. It's just not on the menu. And it never really was. And here's the strange part. You've probably never once stopped to wonder why. It just feels obvious, right? It's a bear. Of course we don't eat it. But stay with me, because that gut reaction, of course we don't, is hiding one of the wildest, most disturbing biological stories in the animal kingdom. And by the end of this video, I promise you'll never look at a steak, a burger, or even a fish sandwich the same way again. The last part genuinely changes how you think about what safe to eat even means. Let's get into it. Okay, first, let's knock out the answer you're already thinking. We don't eat grizzly bears because they're dangerous. And yeah, they are dangerous. Terrifyingly so. A grizzly can weigh up to 800 pounds in the wild, sometimes more. They've got a bite force strong enough to crush a bowling ball. They can smell food from miles away, and an angry mother grizzly protecting her cubs is basically nature's version of a freight train with claws. So sure, dangerous. Case closed, right? Wrong. Because dangerous has never stopped humans from eating something. Not once. We hunt wild boar that can gut a man with their tusks. We climb into the ocean and pull up sharks. We eat stingrays. We eat crocodiles. We eat pufferfish, a fish so poisonous that one wrong slice can literally kill you. And people still line up to pay for it. Our ancestors speared woolly mammoths and cave lions with sharpened sticks. Danger has never been the deal breaker for our species. Ever. And here's the kicker. People have eaten bear for thousands of years. Native American tribes ate it. Frontier settlers ate it. Fur trappers ate it. Bear grease was a prized cooking fat. Bear meat showed up on frontier tables all across early America. So the "it's dangerous" answer? It falls apart instantly. The real reason is way stranger. And to understand it, we have to talk about what's actually inside that bear. Here's where it gets creepy. The problem with grizzly bear meat isn't the bear. It's what the bear ate. Grizzlies are omnivores. They eat berries and roots and grass, sure, but they also eat fish, carrion, rodents, and pretty much anything they can get their paws on. And that diet loads their bodies with something you really, really don't want on your dinner plate. A parasite called trichinella. It causes a disease called trichinosis. Now, you might have heard of trichinosis with pork. It's the reason your grandma told you to cook pork all the way through. But here's the thing. We basically solved it in pigs. Modern farming, controlled diets, strict inspection. Pork today is incredibly safe. Bears? Nobody's inspecting a wild grizzly. Nobody's controlling its diet. And bear meat is one of the most common sources of trichinosis infections in North America. The parasite burrows into the muscle, the exact part you'd eat, and if you don't cook it perfectly, those larvae end up inside you. They travel through your body. They can lodge in your muscles, your heart, even around your brain. And here's the worst part. The strain of trichinella found in bears is cold resistant. Freezing meat kills the pork version. It does not reliably kill the bear version. So all those old safety tricks, they don't work here. But even that's not the biggest reason, because if it were just a parasite, we could cook it out. There's something deeper going on, something baked into the bear over millions of years of evolution. Let me tell you about one of the strangest survival stories in history. Back in the age of Arctic exploration, explorers pushing into the frozen north kept getting mysteriously, horribly sick. Splitting headaches, peeling skin, blurred vision, bone pain. Some of them died. What did they all have in common? They'd eaten the liver of a polar bear, a close cousin of the grizzly. Turns out, bear livers, especially polar and grizzly, can contain a monstrous amount of vitamin A. So much that it's toxic to humans. Eating it can cause a condition called hypervitaminosis A. Your skin peels off. Your organs struggle. In severe cases, it can be fatal. Now think about what that means. This is an animal whose body chemistry itself is hostile to us. It's not just you might get a bug if you undercook it. Parts of this creature are straight up poison, no matter how carefully you prepare them. And that's a clue to the bigger picture, because it starts to show you a pattern. The grizzly keeps failing every test that would make an animal worth eating. And that pattern, it goes all the way back to why we eat anything at all. Here's something most people never think about. Around 10,000 years ago, humans figured out farming. Before that, we ate whatever we could catch, including bear, honestly. But farming changed everything, and farming animals turned out to be way harder than farming plants. Because to farm an animal successfully, it has to pass a checklist, a brutal one. It has to eat cheap food, grass, grain, scraps. It has to grow fast, so raising it is worth the effort. It has to breed easily in captivity. It can't be so dangerous it kills the farmers. And, this is the big one, it has to have a social structure humans can hijack. Cows follow the herd. Sheep follow the flock. Humans just slot themselves in as the boss. Out of hundreds of big animals on Earth, humans successfully domesticated only a handful. Cows, pigs, sheep, goats, chickens, a few others. That's basically it. And the grizzly? It fails every single item on that list. It won't eat cheap food efficiently. It needs tons of protein. It doesn't breed fast. A mother might have cubs only once every few years. It's absurdly dangerous. And its social structure? Grizzlies are loners, fiercely solitary. There's no herd to control. There's no leader to replace. You can't convince a grizzly you're the boss. You can only convince it you're a threat. Or lunch. So even if the meat were perfectly safe, the grizzly was never going to become livestock. It's biologically disqualified. Every single way. And there's one more layer to this. Even the humans who did eat wild bear, the tribes, the trappers, the settlers, they never depended on it. They ate it when they got lucky, when they killed one. It was a bonus, not a staple. Because you can't build a food supply on an animal you can't farm, can't control, and can't safely store. Think about it. A cow just stands there. It eats grass you don't even want. It gives you meat, milk, and leather. It reproduces on schedule. It lets you fence it in. A grizzly gives you nothing but risk. It fights back. It poisons you if you eat the wrong part. It carries parasites that survive your freezer. It won't breed on your terms. It won't follow you. It won't be owned. The grizzly, through no fault of its own, is the ultimate rebel of the animal kingdom. It simply refuses to fit into the human food system. And so, over 10,000 years, it quietly got left off the menu. Not because we couldn't kill one, but because it was never worth what it took to eat one. So let's come back to your dinner. The burger, the bacon, the chicken. You didn't choose those foods. Not really. History chose them for you. They're the winners of a 10,000-year-old lottery. The rare animals with the right diet, the right temperament, the right breeding, the right body chemistry to become food. And the grizzly? It lost that lottery on every single count. Wrong diet, wrong parasites, wrong body chemistry, wrong temperament, wrong social structure. A near miss? No, a total wipeout. Everything on your plate is there because it passed. Everything that's not, the bears, the lions, the eagles, the wolves, got quietly filtered out by biology and history working together long before you were ever born. The food you grew up eating isn't neutral. It isn't random. It's an inheritance. A story that started millennia ago and ended somehow with a plastic-wrapped package in your fridge. Here's the thing that sticks with me. You've eaten thousands of meals in your life, and every single time, the choice already felt made for you. Chicken, beef, pork, never bear, never lion, never eagle. You just assumed that's how it is. But how it is was decided by things you never saw. A parasite that survives the cold, a liver full of poison, an animal too wild to be tamed and too dangerous to be farmed. 1,000 tiny no's stacked up across 10,000 years until eating a grizzly became unthinkable. You never chose to skip the bear. Something much older than you did. And the next time you sit down to eat, take 1 second and really look at your plate. Because that meal isn't just food. It's the ending of a story that's been writing itself since before the first city was ever built. You never even knew there was a decision to make.